Hey everyone, welcome to my first build. Well, not my first build ever, but my first recorded build. I thought it would be a fun little change of pace to do a speed build on one of my favorite games, Sims 4. I'm using the biggest lot available in Newcrest, which is a 50 by 40 lot, and I decided to build a luxury studio apartment complex on this lot, which was a challenge since I've never built anything so big before. As you can see, I'm just laying down the foundation of the grounds and the community. We're going to have 3 buildings, 2 stories each. I knew I wanted all of these units to be studios because I lived in a studio apartment for 3 years and it was my favorite of all my apartments. That might sound silly because studios can indeed be small. Mine was 430 square feet, but I prefer a cozy living space. It was also a time in my life when I lived alone, so I could decorate however I wanted. I could keep it as clean as I wanted. It was my own little sanctuary. Looking back on my build now, I actually should have dedicated one of the floor plans to my real life studio, but maybe I'll do another build in the future of that apartment. So there are 3 floor plans in this complex. Essentially, each building has one floor plan mirrored on the first and second floor. And let me just start off by saying I am not one of those expert builders, so this might look pretty plain compared to other builds out there, but I am hoping to grow my building skills. As you can see, I did have some trouble creating each of the floor plans, trying to make them symmetrical, thinking of the layout of each, where the doors should go, where the bathroom should go, etc. I also wanted to give them interesting shapes, not just square boxes, so I tried my best to create sectioned off pieces to work with, some of them having a small alcove for a bed or a space that could be dedicated for a dining room. So I'm laying out the flooring of all of these spaces. We have a hallway and a stairwell in each building. I keep all the hallways that nice wood paneling, and all the apartment flooring is the same wood paneling but in a cool gray color. I also made all of the apartment walls a cool gray as well with that nice crown molding. My thoughts for this complex is that residents can paint the walls if they wish, at an extra cost of course. So I imagine once I design units for residents, some will have different colored walls. I also decided to keep the public areas such as the stairwells, the gym, the leasing office, etc. a warmer tone with a beige wall to match the brown wood. I am just laying out some windows here. Again, I had to think of the placement of all of them and make sure they were symmetrical per building. And of course, I had to log in my build cheats. I'm actually surprised I didn't need them until now. I did have trouble with closet door placement. I wanted to, of course, make sure that I wasn't making it too hard on my future self to furnish the studio later. I want these studios to be a functional space that would work in real life. Adding a little more detailing to the exterior of the buildings here, I added decorative columns around the buildings and used a nice white brick swatch. It's pretty understated, but I think it looks nice and simple. Also adding a border around the buildings just for interest. I'm also not the best at roofing yet. I definitely need some practice here. Also, I apologize. Like I said, this is my first recorded build, so I do go back and forth quite a lot as different things occurred to me not in order. Just adding a bit more details to the outside, adding some lights and hedges. I really wanted this complex to feel luxurious, yet simple and clean. So there's not a lot of trees, all the plants are confined in planters, the lawns are manicured, nothing is overgrown. And also adding a bit more fencing around the buildings, and now moving on to what will be the complex gym, adding large windows facing the pool area here. Making the pool and clubhouse now, which the clubhouse started off pretty small, and I had to make it a little bit bigger, and later on I'll make it bigger still once I realize I didn't include space for a bathroom. But you can see I struggled with the roofing here as well. I tried out a few different configurations. I knew I wanted a sunroof but couldn't decide which side to put it on. Spoiler alert, I ended up putting it back on the other side after all of that. Adding yet more windows to the clubhouse, I really wanted it to have a bright feel to it. Right now, I am just starting out the layout of the rooftop lounge. I knew I wanted it to be a public space, but still feel somewhat exclusive. This is just one of the amenities that I wanted to include in order to make this complex feel upscale. We also have the gym down below, the pool and clubhouse, on-site laundry, and a spacious dog park and walking area. Now adding in some lights around the complex, as well as mailboxes and trash cans, and also including a barbecue area at the pool, as well as pool seating and tables. Laying out the dog park here, I made the grass just a little run down to show that doggos have been there. But aside from that, I wanted this park to be as polished as possible, so I put a nice lamp and some large benches and also some dog statues just to be extra. I did have to readjust the size of this as well, making it the full width of the lawn, which I think is good, giving the doggos a bit more space to run around. I also added a shrub backing just for a little bit of extra privacy. I actually really like the way this park came out. It's probably my favorite exterior space for this build. It just looks so inviting, and because the rest of the property is so manicured, it's nice to have a little corner of nature here. Adding even more greenery here, and if you can see, I also added a few balls and water bowls in this space. I want the doggos to feel at home too. I also thought the residents would like a little arched walkway on the lawn, maybe for them to stroll through on a Sunday morning or during an after-dinner walk. In my head, I imagined this would be a really cute area to bring a date. Maybe this complex is walking distance to an ice cream shop or something, and they bring it back here for a little stroll. I included a cute little fountain in the middle there as well, adding in a seating area too, either to eat said ice cream on date or maybe just to hang out after work and have some food with friends or neighbors. Back to the the rooftop lounge, adding some greenery here to make it feel more relaxing. I liked the idea of including a rooftop lounge because I thought it would really elevate the complex and make people want to live here. And I made it so it overlooks the lake, which I thought was a really nice touch since the people that live here will have a little bit of money, and the lake is a really nice backdrop for them to have while they're relaxing by some fire pits or barbecuing in the evening. Just adding a bit more seating as well as a barbecue, a hot tub, and some fire pits. I imagine this lounge is available to all residents during the week, but is available for reservation on weekends specifically. Adding in a bar as well, and of course had to matchy-matchy with the hot tub. This to me would be a pretty nice event space for a birthday party or summer bash or something. So a bit more backstory on this lot. I am making 10 units, so I am hoping to quote unquote move in some residents at some point, and I thought it would be really fun to do each unit as a separate video. Maybe I can get some responses from you guys or suggestions on who you would like to move in here. I say quote unquote because I don't play live mode, so I probably won't actually be creating Sims to move in. I mean, unless that's something you'd like to see. If so, let me know. But whether it be an elderly cat lady, best friend roommates, a single mom or dad, etc., I would love to hear your thoughts. And not gonna lie, I'll probably end up designing a studio for myself too, to my own liking, just to sort of feel the nostalgic feeling of having a cozy space all to myself. Plus, this complex is so much more high-end than the one I actually lived in real life, so it's fun to just fantasize what I would want my space to look like given an endless budget. This build took me about 9 hours total to complete, so I finished this complex over the course of about 4 or 5 days. We are about halfway there, so I'm going to end the video here. Here is an overview of the exteriors and the grounds. I'm so happy with how this is coming out so far, and I will be posting a part 2 in a few days so that I can show you my work on the interiors. So until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later.